Hi everyone, Akash this side. So in this video, we will be looking at application load balancer in AWS and how we can create it. So we'll be implementing this example in which we would be having one application load balancer here, and we would be having a security group attached to it. Along with that, we would be having two instances as a target group, and each instance would be having NGINX installed on it. So you can assume this NGINX as one of the application which is installed, and these target group would be having a security group attached to it. All right, so we'll try to implement this example. Okay, so I'll go to the dashboard first, and we'll go to EC2. Here I'll click on launch instances. So in order to implement this entire example, first we need to create the instances. So for simplicity's sake, we would be having two EC2 instances. So what I'll do is I'll create two EC2 instances. I'll just give the name as my app. Then for the Amazon machine image, that is your app operating system, I'll select Ubuntu. Then I'll select the default key pair here. Okay, now as you see in the diagram, these target group we would be creating would be having one security group attached to it. So here I'll be creating a new security group, and this would be called as launch wizard 2. And I'll also allow HTTP and HTTPS, although I'll be using only HTTP traffic because we would be running NGINX on the port number 18. Now going forward, I'll select the configuration. I'll just keep it as maybe 15 GB. Although we may not use everything, but still on the safer side, I'm just going to use 15. And the number of instances I'll create 2. Okay, so this will create two instances. I'll quickly go to my instances here, and you would see two instances have been created. Now I'll quickly change to my app 1 and the name of the other instance as my app 2. So now you see both of the instances are up and running. So the next step which we need is to run the NGINX on both of the servers. So I'll quickly install NGINX on both the servers. I'll use EC2 instance connect for this. Okay, so now first I'll run the command sudo apt-get update. Once this is done, I'll install the NGINX package as well. Now we will install NGINX. So to install the NGINX, sudo apt-get install NGINX. We'll say yes. Okay, so now the NGINX is installed on this server. I'll quickly open this IPv4 public address, and I'll go to HTTP instead of HTTPS, and you would see this page is now appearing over here. I'll quickly change the content of it because as we are working on the MyApp 1, we need some distinguishing factor between the server 1 and server 2. So what I'll do is I'll quickly change var www HTML. Okay, I will change this file and add this is my app server 1, and I'll restart the service. Sudo service NGINX restart. This will restart the server. Okay, now if I refresh this, you would see my app server 1. So let's assume that one application is up and running on this particular server. I'll quickly do the similar setting for my app 2 as well. Okay, so I have installed NGINX on the second server as well. I'll quickly open the public IP address of it, and I'll see whether we are able to. So yes, we are able to access the server, NGINX server on the port number 80. Now, if we go back to the diagram, what we have done, we have installed the NGINX on both of the instances. Now, what we will do is we will first create the target group. So if I come here, I have this target group, I'll click on create target group. I need target group of instances. We won't be looking into IP addresses, Lambda, or the application load balancer. I'll keep these settings as default as is and then click on next. Okay, I'll have to mention the name. So my app target group. Okay, click on next. I'll select both of these instances. I'll click on include as pending below. I'll create the target group here. Now you see both of these instances have been added into this particular target group, and it would take a minute or two to get the health status. So meanwhile, what we will do is we'll go back to the diagram. What we have done so far is we have created the instances, we have created the target group, we have already have the security group as well. Now we just need to create the load balancer. Okay, so now I'll click on this load balancer. I'll click on create load balancer here. You see you have three different types of load balancer, actually four, but one is a pretty old, and most of the people go with one of the three load balancers over here, which is the application load balancer, network load balancer, and gateway load balancer. So we will be creating the application load balancer here. I'll click on create here. Okay, application load balancer. Okay, so the scheme would be internet facing so that everyone in the world would be able to access it. And the IP address type would be IP4. I'll keep it as is. Now I'll select the availability zone. The reason why I'm selecting all the availability zone, because if maybe tomorrow I create the instances into different availability zone, then those I can add it into the application load balancer as a secure target group as well. Okay, so here what we have to do is, if I take you back to the diagram, now here you see we need to create a security group as well. So this is the option to create a security group. So I have already created one security group over here, which I can use. So I'll just select this one. And now we have to select the target groups. You see the target group which we had earlier created is now appearing over here. I'll select this. And most of the settings I'll keep it as is for the demo purpose. And I'll click on create load balancer. Now you see the load balancer has been created. Now we have this DNS name, and using this you can access the target groups, but we first need to check whether the EC2 instances which we have added into our target group are in healthy status or not. So now you see the health status is healthy for both of the instances. So I can use this DNS name and I'll go to http colon this particular DNS, and you see now I'm able to go to my app server 1, which is the first server which we had created. I'll click on, or I'll refresh it a couple of times. You would see that the traffic is switching between server 1 and server 2. So this is how the load balancer is managing the request which are coming from the users. So the users are requesting for something. The application load balancer would decide where to redirect the request, whether to this EC2 instance or this EC2 instance. So this is how the application load balancer works in AWS. If you have any questions or queries, please drop a comment below, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you.